Hello and welcome to the Kayden Show, today's best country mix. And joining me right here today is JJ Voss. JJ, how are you today?
Good, Kayden. It's good to be with you.
It is absolutely an honor to have the time to talk to you today.
Excellent. Good to be here.
So kind of tell us a little bit about yourself to get started.
Well, I am from the Prairie province in Western Canada. We're kind of like right up above North Dakota is where we're located. And I grew up on a little farm. It was a small rural mixed agricultural community. What else can I tell you? When I left the farm right after high school and I went on the road playing music, and I've pretty much been doing that ever since.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Do you like being on a farm or growing up on a farm, I should say?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a cliche. They say you spend your first 18 years of your life trying to leave home and then the rest of your life trying to get back there.
Mm-hmm.
So no, it was a wonderful way to grow up, and it was a simple life. And now that years have gone by, my father passed on. We still have the farm in our family. We have it rented out, but we're trying to desperately find a way to hold on to it. Unfortunately, as a business or for a living, it's not really feasible. We would have had to expand and become a much larger operation many years ago in order to do that. So that didn't happen. So I don't think running it as a business is in the cards, but like I said, we're trying to find some way to maintain it and keep it in our family.
Well, that is good because you want something to remember your childhood, and it could be really devastating if you have to let it go.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you always want to go home, and to me, that's the only place I'll ever call home. So.
No, I see. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So is there something about music that you love about it, JJ?
Music has always been, I think, my own form of therapy. It was always my way to connect with myself. I was the youngest in my family, and my older siblings were all graduated and gone away. So I spent a lot of time alone, and music was my companion. It's kind of what like I said, it's my form of therapy, I guess.
Yeah, that's definitely something that a lot of people use for therapy. And I agree, I also use it for therapy, when you're in like a mood, sometimes you need music.
Yes, it's you don't need to it's your constant companion, and it's a relationship that's easy to manage.
I 100% agree with you on that, JJ. So if you could duet or collaborate with any singer, who would you choose, JJ, and why?
Oh, I think if you asked that question to me at different eras of my life or different times of my life, might be two or three different answers, but I would have to say right now, Jason Isbell.
Why is that?
I think he's the most brilliant artist alive right now, the most brilliant songwriter that's out there that I've run across.
Do you have a favorite song by him?
There's many different ones. I'd have to say Elephant.
I feel like I know who you're talking about.
Elephant or Vampires, one of the two.
Yeah. So JJ, do you have any new singles, any new projects, tours, anything like that going on for you, my friend?
Over the course of the last few months, I've been focusing on writing. I kind of have to shut down from being the booking agent, artist. I have to kind of shut down the business side of things and focus my brain on writing. And in January, February, I did that. So I have a good start to kind of a future project. I think it's I know what the theme is going to be, and I've obviously got to write some more songs, but I've got a good start on it. So I'm going to say that probably later this year I'll get a single out.
That's awesome. How many singles do you have out altogether?
Well, the album that I'm promoting now was released in 2020, and I think we did uh, in Canada. I did 4 singles to radio, and then here recently, I've started working with Pinky with Black Mountain, and we're looking at releasing probably 2 more to the international market.
That's awesome. Yes, and that's how I actually found you, by the way, through Pinky. So
Yeah, she does great work, and I'm gonna. This was my 3rd album, so over the course, like I to the international market many years ago, and I had a lull in my career where I had to take some time off for surgery, and then I had to heal. So I've kind of had a bit of a disjointed career in that respect. So I'm hoping now that I've relaunched that going forward, I can release a little more consistently, and that should open up my touring aspirations to tour internationally as well.
that's good. That's awesome. Have you ever been over to the U.S. or have you been in just Canada?
No, I've been in the U.S. I've done some showcases in Nashville. I haven't done any American tours. I've been to Europe a couple of times. I did Germany, Netherlands, France, and Ireland back in 2015 and 16. I went back a second year in a row, and I actually went over and did a little tour in Colombia for a rugby tournament of all things. I was brought aboard to be the entertainment for a rugby tournament.
Well, that's interesting. How did that go?
It was an incredible experience. I've never been to a third world country before, and it was an eye opener, and it made me very, very grateful of and very respectful of what we take for granted at home on a daily basis. We live in a very safe, privileged place of the world.
So tell me a typical day for you. What does that look like?
Well, let's see. I usually start my day around 8:30 in the morning, and the first part of it is catching up on emails and trying to stay on top of bookings for. We're trying to book 3 to 6 months in advance. So that once I get the business side out of the way, then yeah, I try to. I'm trying to write every day now. So whether it's 5 minutes or whether it's an hour or whether it's all afternoon. So I try to write in the late morning and early afternoon. And then I shut her down about probably 4, 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
When I'm at home,
definitely.
it's been a different world since since the pandemic, especially, but then also before that, went through a stretch where I had that surgery and I was healing. So it's been a long time. I've been touring consistently. My entire life has been on the road. So the last 5 years has been a real shock for me, but it's also been great because I managed to focus on and do a lot of things that I missed out on over the years.
What do you like doing outside of music? Do you have any hobbies, interests?
I wish I had a better answer. I wish I was a little more rounded, but I will say in the last 2 years, I refocused on taking care of myself, both physically and mentally. So we've been exercising every day. I walk about usually between 90 minutes and 2 hours a day. And really, I'm not into sports. I don't have. There is one sport that I am very passionate about, and that's CFL football, which I don't really follow other football, but the CFL is my one outlet, I suppose.
Okay. What is the CFL? Is it like a Canada version of the NFL or?
Yeah, it's instead of 4 downs, we have 3 downs, and
Okay.
our field is wider and a little bit longer, and the time clock operates a little bit different. And we have one more player on. We have 12 men on the field instead of 11.
Okay. That's really interesting.
You should really check it out. It's a great game.
I will. I'll definitely have to check that out. So, JJ, when you make new music, what is your process like? Does it just come to you? Do you have like a process on how to put the music together?
I tend to look for or run across different, phrases or different ideas or little nuggets. I talk a lot. I'm a talker, so sometimes in over the course of a conversation, I'll spit something out in a unique way that's totally an accident. And if I do that, then I'll go and make a little note in my iPhone. And or if I hear other people hear conversations like that where I think, well, that's an interesting way of saying something, then I'll write that down and I have a whole schwack of notes like that. And then when I sit down to write, I'll go through all those notes and see if I usually look at a topic first, pick some sort of topic to try to build, say what I'm feeling at the time, or address that, look at it from that. That's how I kind of come to it.
Hmm. And it really all depends on how you're going to put the lyrics down too, because the lyrics have a main part of your song.
For me, lyrics are king. That's kind of what
Hmm.
that's what focus is. I usually build the music around the lyrics.
Hmm.
Usually, I mean, I'll come up with a groove and I'll come up with guitar hooks and that type of thing that's kind of catchy. And but for me, it's all about the story. It's about the lyrics. So I build the song around it.
Yeah, that's definitely, a good way to think about it too.
I tend to operate better or function better in a co-writing as well. It helps to keep me focused, and I've got a little bit of my attention is easily uh,
Mhm.
I'm easily distracted, it seems, and when I get together with another writer, it forces me to lock in a little bit better. So
Mhm.
kind of come to terms with that. I find I'm more productive and accomplish more in a co-writing setting.
Mhm. What advice would you give someone that might want to jump into doing either just singing in general or the music industry in itself? What advice would you give them?
Be sure you're doing it for the right reasons, or I suppose figure out why you want to do it. Is it to be? Is it for money, or is it to be famous? If it's any of those things, then it's probably not a good choice. But be very cognizant of why you're getting into it, I suppose.
That advice comes up pretty frequently. And I have to agree with you because if you're in it for the money and the famous part of it, unfortunately, that's just, you're not going to go anywhere. I
Well,
hate to break it to you.
there's also the social aspect. When you're young, you're doing
Hmm.
it adulation, and when you're in shiny, you're the people from the opposite sex or whatever you're into are usually into. It's usually easy. If that's why you're doing it, that'll fade. Then at that point the thrill may be gone. So I think you have to, for my own speaking for myself, uh, I don't I don't do it for the level for success for to say, oh, I've accomplished this. I chose music because it's my outlet and it's what makes me happy inside. And it's when I'm understood and when the music that I write and the songs that I craft hit home with somebody else, that's the payoff for me.
Totally. So, JJ, where can people find you on social media platforms if they want to follow you or check out your music?
All the usual ones. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Twitter. I am on TikTok, but I don't. At this point, I haven't really embraced TikTok yet, but I'm on all the usual platforms.
Awesome. Do you have a message for anyone that is listening right now or your fans that you want to give out?
I don't know. I appreciate you listening to my music, and I hope you go find me on the streaming sites, add and like and share and all that stuff, and watch for me out on the road. I want to come down to the U.S. and start to tour on a regular basis.
Totally. Is there anything else that I forgot that you'd like to share with us today before we go, my friend?
I don't think so. I appreciate you supporting my music, and it was great to meet you. Good talking to you.
It was awesome talking to you two. And again, I would like to thank JJ Voss for joining us right here on the King Gordon Show, today's Best Country Mix. We appreciate your time to come on here so much.